1. This weekend felt like a lot. We've had windstorms and lost power twice, including about 20 hours starting yesterday morning. The outage was weird, and not static like all rooms seemed to have bedroom lights, but not bathroom lights. Some had TVs, some didn't. Some had heater and AC, some didn't. She moved who she could. While a few complained here and there and grumbled, there was one person who kicked up an actual fit. One person who decided to try all 4 of us that worked during the 20 hours. I'm going to call him Buddy. I worked the morning shift Saturday and electric was out around midday. This gave Buddy the chance to decide to leave because I know my supervisor would not have minded letting him cancel without charge. None of us knew how long the power would be out though, so I guess I don't blame him. He came down, and I was so busy trying to find out what auxiliary lighting was working, transferring room information to paper for the next shift, calling management, and finding my goddamn maintenance man. Where were you hiding? The power was out, man. Answer your walkie or come to the desk. I'm not even sure what he was whining about. I soothed him as best I could, apologizing for the act of God. I'll remember to facilitate Zeus next time just for you, Buddy. And explained we don't know when the power will be back. Is there anything that might make him feel better? I can give you one of these candy bars and soda pops we keep for super shinies if you like, type of stuff. He grumbled and walked off, and my supervisor showed up soon after. The next morning, I come in and my supervisor, yes, she was there the entire time through night audit, let me know nights came on at 2 a.m., and while I was there that morning before she left, we had the elevator back up and going, but she needed to brief me on things. She gave everyone she could, sans third parties and prepaid and, oh, Buddy, about $40 off, so nearly every guest was given a $99 night, and she gave me the authority to drop it down to $50 and even comp if need be. Surprisingly, not a lot of people griped and moped. Most understood, and may not have been happy, but appreciated the fact that we weren't charged full price. She then told me about her night, and the night auditor's experience with Buddy. Buddy must not have slept much last night because he called about every 3 hours to complain about something, or asked about the status of electric being reinstated, and had already asked if his room would be comped, luckily. She had the foresight to not immediately offer a comp. But what pissed her off the most was when she pulled him up the next morning and was discounting all the rates because she saw his. Our dearest friend Buddy had the $40 employee rate. He is an employee at another pretty local hotel in our brand. To make matters worse, possibly for him, is that he twice asked me about the rate, and I explained it wasn't going to be adjusted. The first time, he had the audacity to say really loud, "This day was horrible, why are you charging us full price?" I responded at the same volume that no one was paying full rate for last night, because he was blatantly trying to stir shit up. Only one guy grumbled in agreement, but our front desk is right next to our breakfast area that was busy. There was intent there. The second time was checkout. Again, he tried to argue with me, saying the rate he was paying was irrelevant because of how bad his stay was, and I told him how I was specifically told not to do anything with his. He tried to ask for a manager, and I offered him my manager's business card, because neither were there, but he promised to call back. One of my coworkers even told me he was still hanging around outside a little later, and tried to bitch to them over a cigarette. Like, I don't know, man. Pretty sure you acting like a toddler as a guest at another hotel isn't going to work out well for you. But I don't know your boss. With that attitude, we can only hope. 2. 5 ways to make life miserable hell for even the toughest night auditors. 1. Conveniently forget to brew fresh coffee each morning and evening alike. Also, never clean, empty trash, or stock common areas. For an added touch, if your property has a pool, leave floors as slippy and dirty as possible. Leave wet towels where they lie, and don't turn lights off or lock doors. 2. Check in guests without payment, matching physical, valid photo ID. Move room types without moving registration card or updating housekeeping or future shifts. Create billing issues without fixing or leaving notes. Fail to report maintenance, emergencies, or suspicious, rude, or criminal guests. Allow rooms to reach excessive occupancy against fire code. 3. Make promises to anyone that asks for compensation, rate exchanges, upgrades, and discounts. Promise late checkouts, free amenities, and when told they want to speak to the manager, contact them after hours on their day off for minor issues. For major issues, leave them hanging, so future shifts have to deal with them. Definitely never bother to notate anything regarding guests. 4. When printing reports, ensure that they are as disorganized as possible. When stapling any document to another, make it a priority to mix up registration cards and billing folios and staple them so the pages don't align. Never tell housekeeping about guest requests, extra linens, or damages. And never physically inspect a room. Leave room status unchanged regardless. 5. Overbook the hotel consistently. Give free upgrades and pre-assign with no rhyme or reason. Never mention stayovers and never authorize for additional nights. Give guests incorrect information and don't worry about getting basic info or a card on file for reservations. Put groups on every floor of the hotel and on the VIP floor in ATA rooms, and always put pets on non-pet floors. Grant refunds for any third parties and bill the guest directly or charge too much money. Bonus: if you wish to make the night auditor become permanently insane, try leaving nasty notes about their minor mistakes, complain to coworkers, management, and guests about imaginary grievances, and blame audit for everything that goes wrong, particularly when it occurs on their days off. Arrive late and leave early, taking care to withhold important information, and turn your phone off immediately. Take the front desk keys home. Call in sick 30 minutes prior to shift. 3. I'm a concierge at a resort in Hawaii where plenty of movies are filmed. Sometime last year, a certain WWE star was on property filming for a new movie, and spent a lot of time doing resort activities. He has a great public and internet persona, and there are lots of memes made about him. I know he speaks Chinese from some videos, and I also happen to speak Chinese, so I started hatching a plan. About a week before he got there, I had booked a dinner for some folks using Open Table for restaurants. The restaurants are open to the public, so I didn't need to ask the guest's room number. A day or so after the dinner, the restaurant manager came by and said, "Concrete Jack, did you book this guest dinner reservation?" I said yes. Did everything go okay? They dined and dashed. I was thinking what they thought I had to do with this guest dining and dashing. Okay. Is there anything I can do to help? Well, they put a room number, but we don't have that room at the hotel. Apparently, they had put a neighboring building's room number, thinking the reservation applied at the main resort. She needed me to find their phone number so we could get a hold of them. But something came up, so she walked back to the restaurant and said to bring it to her when I found it. After about 5 minutes, I tracked it down and walked over. It's about 200 or 300 feet away, so I headed through the lobby. And lo and behold, the WWE star is walking right my way. He absolutely towered over me. My plan, if I was ever working near him, had been to say something clever in Chinese, but all I got out was a sheepishly confident, "Ni hao." He looked at me blankly, gave a half-smile, and kept on walking. Visibly defeated, I walked down the steps into the restaurant, trying to find the manager. I was thinking, whoa, that was embarrassing. Man, I can't believe all I said was "ni hao." That was my chance. What was I thinking? As I got to the bottom step, I heard from behind me,
对不起, 你会说中文. Sorry, do you speak Chinese?
I was shocked. He followed me 50 feet down the stairs. I turned around and saw the WWE wrestler and said, Nida, hiene hui, doima. Yes, you do too, right? We had a 2-minute conversation about Chinese, if we'd ever been to China, about his family on the East Coast, and some other random things. He finished by saying in English, You made my day. The thought of two white guys, one significantly larger than the other, speaking Chinese to each other in Hawaii still makes me chuckle to this day. I've met other celebrities like Hawaiian singers and surfers, but this one definitely takes the cake. After I talked with him, I found the manager and gave her their number. We had some other properties at the resort which are privately owned which they stayed at, and the guest assumed the reservation applied to our amenities as well. It didn't, and their $200 bill was a little frightening to the restaurant. They ended up calling, and I think it all got worked out. 4. 2 days ago, me and my colleague were on the evening shift. We had around 50 arrivals, had a rush between 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. But even if it was a lot, room service, bar, and check-ins, it went all right. We had 2 clients who made our process check-in longer, though, clients whom both gave us attitude for the same reason. First one, a lady comes in and asks me immediately if we have a parking. I explain that our private parking is yet to be available, but we have public parking all around us, and those have no time limit. She sighs and proceeds with the check-in. I try to be as cordial as possible, as she is very much not cooperative with our pre-authorization process. When I present the breakfast, she cut me off by saying she ain't gonna take it anyway, which just tires me. Let me do my job. I give her her time anyway, as it is just formal information. Take it or not, I don't care. I don't want to have a call in 5 minutes to ask me what time breakfast is served. I give her her room key and she goes. 5 minutes later she calls me and asks if we have rooms with bathtubs. We don't. And most new hotels nowadays don't. She sighs and hangs up. All right. The second one, a 50-year-old man whom my colleague does the check-in for. He arrives and immediately tells her that it's unacceptable to not have private parking. We apologize and explain why our hotel is in a housing complex and there is some maintenance going on. He shakes his head in disappointment and asks if we have a restaurant. He is hungry. My colleague explains that we don't, as we have a street full of restaurants 5 minutes walk from here. But we do have a meal fix that we serve as room service. The service is free. He becomes irritated as fuck. My colleague asks for the pre-authorization. He tosses his credit card at her. Sir, you have to insert the card and put the code in, please. Also, why such attitude towards us when you could have just checked our services beforehand? He proceeds to ask her to hurry, to give him the key card for his room. She does, and he leaves like an angry goblin. I make some tea for her, and we settle down as we had the worst behind us now. Why oh why do clients not check the place they book into? We have all the information on every OTA. On our site you can tell us if you need clarification. Please don't get angry at us because the building is not made as you wish it to be. We can't change things. I can't move walls to create a restaurant. Check the services the hotel provides before booking it. For your own comfort. 5. Okay, so I do night audit at a pretty busy hotel, outside of the second busiest airport in the world. We offer a free shuttle from the airport and back 24 hours a day. The shuttle company we have contracted with sucks. Like if they were actually on time, I would die at my desk. Even though they do suck, there are a few rules I wish the guests would figure out. 1. Know where you're at before calling the shuttle. If you don't know where you are, ask any airport employee. They will be happy to tell you. 2. The shuttle isn't picking up only you. They travel to every terminal, and it does take some time to load guests and travel to the next terminal. Calling me every 10 minutes asking where they are will not make them arrive any faster. Yelling at me does me no good either. I am not driving the van, I have no control over the van. 3. If you need a ride back to the airport, please let us know at check-in when we ask. Do not show up and expect to get on the next shuttle. We ask you at check-in for a reason, so we know how many shuttles to schedule for. 4. If the van is taking longer than you like, you are more than welcome to arrange an Uber. No, we will not pay for it or reimburse you for the Uber ride. This is offered as a courtesy. 5. Know that we pay our shuttle service well. Tipping is not a requirement, despite what the drivers say. We don't keep cash at my hotel, so I can't make change to tip them. 6. If there is an issue with the shuttle, please call the GM. We at the front desk have no control over the drivers. Hopefully, if my manager gets enough complaints from guests, we can find a different service to use. 7. If you have a large group that needs to get to the airport, be courteous and arrange for an Uber. There are only so many seats in the shuttle. You, as a group, should be able to pool the money to pay for an Uber. 8. Realize it does take time to load up and get to the airport. If you are late for your flight, taking the shuttle probably isn't going to get you there on time. The front desk will be more than happy to help you find other arrangements to get you there. They will cost you a couple of dollars. A couple of dollars is way cheaper than a new flight, because you chose to be a cheap ass. 9. Know what terminal you will be going to. If you can check your flight, you can check your terminal. This will help with the amount of time it takes to get everyone where they're going on time. 10. If you have a question, just ask. Our job at the front desk is to help you. But we can't help you if we don't know you need it. I will step down from my soapbox now. Thanks for listening. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw, episode 111. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Or if it's a day of the week. Right, let's see. I don't think there's any other business today, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is, do you find when you start a project, something you've been putting off for a while, that it tends to balloon into several other projects? Like, over the years, my house has become more of a lair than a house, to be honest with you. So I'm in the process of making it civil again. And that essentially comes from long periods of illness, resulting in depression and various other things. And thankfully, I'm a lot better in many ways than I have been for a while. And so, with extra motivation, I've been getting the house in order, instead of it being just a place where I dwell. So that means that clearing the cardboard boxes that, that were too big to be thrown out at once, that needed to be broken down, getting them broken down, little projects like that, then it just becomes one thing after another. And it's, well, I could do this, oh, I should do this, I should do that, I should do that. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos and Amazon's like, yes, keep doing that, yes, give me money. Because of all the little things you have to buy to get the projects done. Recent purchase is a silicone dam to go on the bath in front of the shower so that it doesn't actually leak and closes properly. Hopefully that fixes the problem. This weekend, this week, I've got, my refrigerator still works, thankfully, but it's very old, so I can't buy replacement shelves or anything for it. So I'm repairing the old broken shelves, which have got cracks and things. One of them's actually caved right in the middle. So I'll be repairing those this week. I do have the parts to do it. So I guess really personally, I'm in a stage of reparation of the things I've let slide for so long. But do you, like me, find that when you get to that point, all the things you've been putting off, it ends up become a few tasks that you think will take you a little while to complete just end up becoming many more tasks than you originally planned. Because you kind of feel that while you're in the mood to do it, you may as well do it well. Let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.